if you had Daniel Smith and Todd Lovin sitting right here on this couch, what would you tell them?
I don't even know if I could talk. I'd probably burst out into tears. I'd probably get on my knees and beg them to stop hurting our horses.
While Alberta has often been celebrated as a sanctuary for wild horses, the provincial government's plans to cull these animals in 2025 have sparked controversy and accusations of hypocrisy from wildlife activists.
What is it to be free or unbridled horses charging?
If you're using our animals, treat them with respect.
Meet Norene, an Albertan artist who identifies wild horses as integral to Albertan identity.
I'm a devout Albertan through and through. It's exemplified in my art, and I'm a protector of my province and an activist for our horses.
She urges Daniel Smith's government to reverse course and conserve Alberta's wild horses.
Because they're so precious, they're so beautiful. Anybody that has animals or dogs can feel that connection. I know that Danielle is a dog person, so I know that she would have empathy on this. Leave them alone. Let them run free. This is the whole thing about people globally are fighting for freedom. If the horse doesn't represent freedom, what does?
Unless the government changes its approach, the remaining 1,500 wild horses could become a distant memory, preserved only in Norene's paintings of a time when they once roamed freely across a province known for its freedom.
I was born in Alberta. This is my province. I've lived in six more provinces, but always returned back to Alberta because this is home. In my 30s, or actually in my 20s, I would drive all over Alberta and I would see these beautiful horses and I would just pull over and park and get out and pet them. They weren't wild horses, but they were horses. And I would just feed them grasses from the other side. And I find that the horses make your heart sing. They're just such beautiful, majestic animals. And I'm a self-taught artist, and so I would take out my camera and photograph horses, and then that was a great inspiration to paint on my medium, which is silk. And my favorite thing for the whole time I've been in business, 38 years, my favorite subject matter has always been the horse. I lived in Ottawa for a decade and I heard that Alberta was slaughtering our wild horses. I got extremely, extremely upset, cried my eyes out, and then I found out about Zoo Check. And they're an animal welfare group in Eastern Canada. And I met with Rob Laidlaw at the age of 30. I'll never forget that meeting. I donated one of my silk scarves. And then I went to bat for our wild horses by filling out petitions and getting people to sign these petitions protesting against the slaughter of these glorious animals. We can't be doing this to our horses. They're precious. The Alberta government is responsible for allowing these culls. Cull is a despicable word in my view, because what cull means in reality is murder, butcher, and slaughter.
A 2015 range health report found wild horses actually caused little damage to the land. Most of it was caused by clear-cut logging, off-road vehicles, and cattle.
Norene urges Albertans to speak out and credits the work done by ZooCheck, an animal welfare organization. They urge Albertans to call on their government to stop the misguided, wasteful, and unnecessary wild horse removals, arguing that Alberta's wild horses are being, quote, scapegoated for rangeland damage caused by human activities.
If the government is planning contraception or sterilization, and if the horses are sterilized, for that works for 3 to 5 years, it's utterly horrifying to these animals It's a cruelty beyond belief. They're absolutely horrified. Their groups are horrified. It affects them terribly, and that absolutely can lead to extinction.
Is it difficult to create artwork like this? It looks very majestic.
When people ask me how much time, I say usually 30 years or 38 years, because that's how long I've been in business. And I'm self-taught. I never went to art school. I'm quite proud of that. But the silk is all white to begin with, and then I'll take my photographs of my horses, draw them, and then do outlines on the silk fabric. And then the fabric is stretched out and everything is painted by hand. So, and it's a work of love. It's a labor of love. I really am very blessed to have chosen the path of becoming an artist and learning that trade along the way. And the Alberta government has been very supportive of my art over the years. They've bought, going back to the 80s, the early 80s, Horst Schmidt was the Minister of International Trade. He purchased my artwork of Alberta and traveled all over the province with it. So I've got a lot to be grateful for the Alberta government, but when it comes to harming our wildlife, we need to end this like decades ago, and they're in trouble. My best life lessons I've learned, Mocha, are not from humans, they're from my animals.
Norene has high hopes that the government will reverse course before it's too late. Given the strong data against the policy and the small number of wild horses roaming, her hopes may be grounded in reality.
We've got to speak up. We've got to speak up and stand up for freedom globally, and we need to stand up for our children globally and our animals. Our wildlife are part of this planet, and they matter greatly.
Mocha Bezirgan for Media Bezirgan. There is no good reason to kill wild horses. They represent Albertans' identity. They should be protected, not slaughtered. We use them in our tourism commercials. We can't be doing that and at the same time be killing them. The last cull happened in 2015, and there is no real good reason to do it again in 2025 when their numbers are so small. If you would like me to continue covering this topic, please consider donating at mediabizirgan.com/donate. Thank you very much.